السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. ربي زدني علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم في محاضرة دروس اللغة العربية لغير ناطقين بها. Alhamdulillah, we have completed the 10 lessons of this of the book to Alhamdulillah, the first 10 lessons, and inshallah today we will revise all our 10 lessons, inshallah ta'ala. We will go and do all the 10 lessons, and this will help us to remember all the rules which we learned in the book. Inshallah. So let's begin Durus al-Lugha al-Arabiya, key to Durus al-Lugha, and the whole key, right? Okay, let's begin. Lesson 1. So in lesson 1 we learned inna, right? Inna. So inna is used for stressing, for giving a stress on the sentence, right? Inna. So he says inna in Arabic there are two types of sentences, as you know. The first is al-jumlatul ismiya, the nominal sentence, wherein the first word is a noun, right? We have jumla ismiya, where the first word is a noun. Example, al-kitabu sahalun, the book is easy. The noun which commences a nominal sentence is called mubtada, and the second part is called khabar, right? We already know about this. This is called mubtada, and this is called khabar, subject and the predicate. While the verbal sentence, al-jumlatul fi'aliyya, the first word is a verb. The first word is not a noun, it is a verb. Like for example, kharaja bilalun, Bilal went out. So inna will always come in the beginning of a nominal sentence. No, right? In a jumla ismiya itself, it will always begin in jumla ismiya. Like for example, al-kitabu sahlun. When we add inna, the word after it will be mansub. Innal kitaba sahlun. Right? Innal kitaba sahlun. Indeed, the book is new. This is mansub with a fatha. Innal kitaba sahlun. Indeed, the book is new. Note that the noun after inna is mansub. Right? So inna, it's mansub. That is in the accusative case. Right? It is in the accusative case, mansub. After the introduction of inna, the mubtada, the name changes. It's no longer called mubtada. Right? You get a mubtada here. It's no longer called mubtada. We change the name and it's called, but is instead called ismu inna, and the khabar is called khabaru inna. Right? So this changes into ismu inna, this ismu inna and the khabaru inna. So ismu inna mansubun, the ismu of inna, the noun of inna, or ismu of inna is mansub, and this is called khabar of inna marfu. Khabar of inna marfu. Inna signifies emphasis, right? It's emphasizing a statement. It can be translated as indeed, surely, no doubt, verily, right? And so on. We can translate it in this way. Okay. Note the following. If the mubtada has one dhamma, it changes to one fatha, right? If it already has one dhamma, then we won't bring a tanween, right? Like al-mudarrisu jadidun. So we'll put inna here. So innal mudarrisa, right? One fatha. Innal mudarrisa. because this already had one dhamma. So innal mudarrisa jadidun. Okay, like Aminatu talibatun. Amina is a student. The teacher is new. Amina is a student. Now I have to say indeed Amina is a student. Inna Aminata talibatun. Right. So it's straightforward, I guess. When nothing new here. If the mubtada has two dhammas, then they change to two fathas. Right? If they have tanween, then it'll be changed to a tanween. If it has two, it'll be changed to two, like Hamidun, Maridun. It already has two dhammas. Now it has become Inna Hamidan Maridun. Indeed, Hamid is sick. Inna Hamidan. So two fathatan, right? Two fathas. Okay. Inna Hamidan Maridun. All right. Now, if the mubtada is a pronoun, it changes to its corresponding mansub form, right? If it is anta, huwa, the detached form, right? If it has the detached, it'll become into the attached form, the mansub form. It'll become the attached form. Like anta ghaniyun, we will not say inna anta ghaniyu, inna anta ghaniyu. We'll change it to innaka ghaniyun. Indeed, you are sick, not sick. Indeed, you are rich. Innaka ghaniyun. Okay. So we did this, right? For the mansub forms, see exercise 3 in the Moin book. So we have exercise 3, all the forms. Note the pronouns of first person singular have two forms, yeah? Singular and plural have two forms. It can be either inna or it can either be innana, right? Inna and innana, both are fine. And inni and innani, okay? Inni and innani. Right? So this is all about inna. This is all about inna. Okay, inshallah. Next we learned about la'alla, perhaps. This is also a particle like inna. So inna has five sisters, right? La'alla is one of the sisters. It is called the one of the sisters of inna. It is called one of the sisters of inna. And grammatically, it acts like inna. So it does the same job like inna, right? All the sisters. And it signifies hope or fear, right? Either you hope something or you are fearful of something. Like, for example, Al Jawu Jamilun. The weather is fine, right? Beautiful. The weather is beautiful. And the weather is beautiful. So, لعل لعل الجو جميل. I hope the weather is fine, right? Like إن الجو. Similarly, لعل الجو جميل. I hope the weather is fine. This is showing hope. Then the next sentence, المدرس مريض. The teacher is sick, right? لعل المدرس مريض. I'm afraid, right? Right? Fear. This is showing fear. I'm afraid that the teacher is sick, right? That means he fears that this will be hope. In this lesson, we have examples of I hope only. So in this lesson, he has brought only the examples of hope. The I hope is understood, right? Uh, I mean, it's not like we have to bring la'alli. Hmm? It is understood. So la'alla itself shows the meaning of hope, right? I hope. But we can translate this as perhaps also, right? Perhaps the weather is fine. Right? We need not say I hope and I being I or we or whatever. We can say perhaps the weather is fine. That's fine. Right? Then we learned about zu. Zu, this means having or possessing something. Zu, right? To have something, to own something. Zul jalali wal ikram. Like we have zu malin, possessing wealth. Right? Zu mal, he has a lot of wealth. That is wealthy. Zu khuluqin, possessing manners. Right? Well mannered. Zu ilmin, possessing knowledge. Right? It is always mudaf. So zu is a special mudaf. This and the zu is always mudaf. And the following word is mudaf ilayhi. Right? The word after it will have kasra, like zu khuluqin, zul jalali, right? Majroor. It will always be majroor. Okay. Zu Malin, see, majrur. Zu khuluqin, character. Khuluq means character, manners. And feminine of zu is dhatu. Zu is dhatu. Like, for example, Bilalun zu ilmin. Bilal is learned, right, or has knowledge. Wa ukhtuhu dhatu khuluqin. And his sister is well mannered. And his sister is well mannered. Okay. So Zu's feminine is Zatu. Then Zu's plural is Zavu. Zavu. And Zatu's plural is Zavatu. Zatu's plural is Zavatu. So Zu, Zavu, Zatu, Zavatu. Right? All the four forms. Like Hada Talibu Zu Khuluqin. This student is has well manners. Haulai Tullabu Zavu Khuluqin. These students are well mannered or something. هذه الطالبة, this student is well mannered. هؤلاء الطالبات ذوات خلق. These students are well mannered. Are well mannered. Okay. So this is the third point. So what are we doing? Inna. We learned about inna. Then we talked about la'alla. Right? La'alla same as sister of inna. Then we talked about zu. Zu. Then fourth point he talks about am. Am means or, right? But only an interrogative sentence. It comes only in questions. Is only in questions. Like, for example, atabibun anta muhandisun. Are you a doctor or an engineer? Right? I mean, Firanza huwa am min Almania. Is he from France or Germany? Bilalan ra'ita am Hamidan. Did you see Bilal or Hamid? Right? And this is what note the particle a. So we learn this, right? The first option should come here, and after the second option comes. So that's what he's telling. The particle a precedes one of the two things about the question about which the question is asked, while precedes the other. Right? That's how you make questions. So it is wrong to say, we cannot say like this. Anta mudarrisun am talibun. It's not. It's incorrect. Adhabta ila Makkata am Juddata. No. Right? When there are two things coming like Makkah or Juddha, teacher or student, you have to bring this after a, right? So you have to say the correct construction is Amudarrisun anta am talibun. Are you a teacher or a student? A ila Makkata dhahabta am ila Juddata. Right? Did you go to Makkah or Jeddah? In English, it doesn't make a difference in the translation, but in Arabic, that's how it is. While in a non-interrogative sentence, like which are not questions, right? Which is a statement. Instead of we will use au. We will use what? Au, right? Au, or like khud hada au zaka. Take this or that. Zaka is zalika, right? Same thing. Khud hada au zalika. Ra'aytu salasatan au arba'atan. I saw 3 or 4. Kharaja Bilalun au Hamidun. Bilal or Hamid went out. Right? So this is about and questioning. Fifth is about miyatun. Miyatun means 100. Alfun means 1,000. Right? So miyatun, the alif is not pronounced, right? We write an alif here, but it is not pronounced. It is also written as like this. It is pronounced miyatun. In certain countries, people write it like this also, without the alif. Right? So it's not necessary to write the alif here, but it's okay if you don't. It's okay if you do. Like, we can write it like this, or we can write it like this. Right? You can write it like this. Miyatun. Both are fine. Right? Both are fine. Miyatun. Some countries, and it's better. I mean, not better. It's just easier to write it like this. Miyatun without alif. Right? I mean, that's how I'm used to writing. And after these two numbers, so what happened after these two numbers? Right? After these two numbers, what happened? The ma'adud is singular majroor. Always we should try to remember it is singular majroor. Right? Singular majroor. Okay, it's not plural. It's not mansub. It's not tamiz. It's not singular mansub. It is singular majroor. Like miyatu kitabin. It becomes mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Right? Miyatu kitabin. 100 books. Alfu riyalin. 1,000 riyals. Right? Alfu riyalin, 1,000 riyals. Hmm? So it becomes, singular majroor, not mansub. SMJ, right? 100 and 1,000 is singular majroor. هذا التلفاز بألف ريال. Right? Here it is alfi is majroor because of the preposition be. So, right? You have a be here. So be is making it what? Kasra. Be. Bi alfi riyalin. This how. So miyatun and alfun have the same form with feminine ma'adud also. So if you're counting something feminine also, it will be miyatun and alfun. It will be same thing. Huh? They say alfu muslimatin wa miyatu talibatin. 1,000 Muslim girls or Muslim women, hundreds students, female students. It's the same thing. Alfu and this is same for what? With the feminine ma'adud also. It's the same for feminine ma'adud also. Okay. So this is all about numbers, miyatun and alfun. Okay, so he taught us a lot in the first lesson. Then ghalin. Ghalin is what? Expensive. Ghalin. Hadal kitabu ghalin. This book is expensive. Here, ghalin is not majroor. Right? It is not majroor. Many people might get confused because they see two kasras. Right? It is marfu. It is marfu. Why is it? Because this is manqus. This is called manqus. Right? It is actual form is ghaliyun. Ghaliyun. The letter ya along with its dhamma, this and this dhamma has been omitted because it's so difficult from ghaliyun all the time. And the noon of the tanween, so this tanween has been transferred to the preceding letter. Right? So what happened was ghaliyun, this noon, this you delete this came here, ghalin. And there's some other words like this type. It's called mankhus. Like muhamin, lawyer, a lawyer. It was actually muhamiyun. Ana muhamin, I am a lawyer. Right? Ana muhamin. Qadin, a judge. For qadiyun. Right? Abi qadin, my father is a judge. It's not majroor. It is marfu itself. Okay. Wadin, valley, a valley. Wadiyun, hada wadin. This is a valley. Inshallah, we will learn about this in book 3. Right? This all will come in book 3. Inshallah ta'ala. Right? Inshallah. Right? So this is like a little confusing, but we need not worry about this. Right? Inshallah. Because it will come in book 3. Okay? It will come in book 3. So this is done. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. So in book 1, lesson 1, we learned about inna, la'alla, zu, right? Zu, and miyatun and alfun, right? 100 and 1,000. Ghalin, expensive. Manqus, we learned. It's called manqus. It's not maqsoor. Maqsoor is with alif maqsoora, right? Which has a Salma and all those names. That's called maqsoor. This is called manqus. Manqus. Vocabulary, intelligence, zakiyun, intelligent, ghabiyun, stupid, khuluqun, manners, miyatun, 100, alfun, 1,000, rubiyatun, rupee, mutazawwijun, married, azabun, unmarried, yahudiyun, Jew, yahudun, Jews, mu'jamun, dictionary, dularun, dollar, safhatun, page, najihun, one who has passed the exam, ghalin, expensive, kummun, slave, kummun, slave. $2, right? Alhamdulillah. This is the first lesson. Right? So, inshallah, I hope the first lesson's rules are clear. Okay, Bismillah. Let's begin the lesson number 2. Inshallah. Inshallah. Today we will do only 5 lessons, inshallah. In the next class, we will do the next 5. Okay. Let's begin with lesson 2. In this lesson, we learn the following. Laysa. We learn what? Laysa. Laysa. It means what? Is not. It means is not. Laysa means what? Is not. Right? Is not. It is this also. Laysa is also. This is a sister of kana. This is a sister of kana. It is used only in a nominal sentence. Right? It is used only in a nominal sentence. Like inna was used in a nominal sentence. Similarly, kana is also used in the nominal sentence. Right? Kana is also used in a nominal sentence. So this is what only in nominal sentence. Okay, and the meaning is not, is not. Okay. Example, like how do you negate a nominal sentence? You bring laysa. You don't bring la, because la is used only for responding to a question most of the time, or with a verb. La yafalu hada, right? He will not do this, with a verb or responding to questions. Right? That's why it's called harful jawab, the particle of answering questions. Naam and la. So al baytu jadidun, the house is new. So what happens? Like inna, this will also make something mansub, but it will do the opposite work. Right? Laysa al baytu bi jadidin. Right? We can bring a ba. Right? This house is not new. This house is not new. If you remove this ba, right, it'll become jadidan, opposite of inna. Okay, but he didn't bring it because it might become confusing, right? So he brought only the ba. Note that the ba b is added to the khabar. It is therefore majroor. He gives a point one. We can also say lays al baytu jadidan. Right? We can also say that here the khabar has no b. It is mansoob. You will learn this later, inshallah. So we already know because of Kana sister, right? Laisa, Kana sister. After the introduction of Laysa, the Mubtada is called Ismu Laysa. It's called Ismu Laysa, and the Khabar is called Khabaru Laysa. Right? Mubtada and Khabar. Ismu Laysa and Khabaru Laysa. Like Ismu Inna and Khabaru Inna, this is also called Ismu Laysa and Khabar of Laysa. And the feminine of Laysa is Laysat. It's Laysat. Like for example, Zainabu Maridatun. Zainab is sick. So we have to say Laysat Zainabu bi maridatin. Right? Zainab is not sick. Laysat. So we have to change accordingly, right? If masculine comes, we have to put masculine. If feminine comes, feminine. If it is dual, we'll use duals, right? If you're speaking to someone, we'll change it accordingly, right? Like as-sayyaratu qadimatun laysat. So because this has also sukun, so it'll get a kasra. Laysat as-sayyaratu bi qadimatin. The car is not new, not old. Right? The car is not old. Note that in the second example of sukoon of laysat, right? The sukoon of laysat has changed to a kasra. Why did we get kasra? Because of the following al. So laysat al bintu, it become laysatil bintu. Just for the sake of reading purposes, right? It's just for the see key to book 1, lesson 12. Right? In lesson 12 of book 1, they have taught that. The forms of Laysa with other pronouns are mentioned in exercise 3 in the main book. So if you want, we can go back to that. Laysa. Like lastu bi muhandisin. The pronoun tu is the ismu Laysa. Right? It is the ismu Laysa. Here, right? This is the ismu Laysa. Lastu, lasta, lastuma, lastum, lasti, lastuma, lastunna, lastu, lasna. And bi muhandisin is the khabar Laysa. So we can also say ana lastu bi muhandisin. We can also say that I'm not an engineer. Ana is just the mubtada and lastu bi muhandisin. This whole thing will become the khabar then. And this is the mubtada and this will be the khabar again. Right? So we can do that, but just repeating because ana also says I, the stu also says I, right? It's just double work. But we can do that just for sake of emphasis. Okay. So like ana mudarrisun, lastu bi mudarrisun is also fine. Right? I am not a teacher. Ana minal Hindi. I am from India. Lastu minal Hindi. I am not from India. Okay. Lastu min al-Hindi. And if the khabar laysa is a prepositional clause, if you have a jar majrur coming, then what happens is the khabar will not take a B, because we cannot add a B, right? Be money, be minal Hindi. We cannot do that. So one does not say lastu be minal Hindi. We don't not add B also, because it's sufficient to have one preposition. Two prepositions do not join together. Right? Two prepositions do not harfu jar. So this is all about laysa, laysa, laysa. This is lesson number 2, and we're learning about, and we learned about laysa, right? And we have learned in book 1 that if mubtada is indefinite, so if the mubtada doesn't have alif lam, so we have to bring it later on, right? And the khabar is a prepositional clause. You have a jar majrur shibu jumla coming. What you do? Then the mubtada comes after the khabar. Like for example, li ikhwatun. I have brothers. I have brothers. Right? With laysa, it remains the same. I mean, we have to bring it later on. Laysa li ikhwatun. And in also it happens like that itself. Because li, you should always remember that jar majrur, the preposition, will never be the mubtada. Never ever. Right? So, I mean, you can say, whenever you bring laysa or inna or kana, whatever, then you have to keep it same. Right? Laysa li ikhwatun. I have no brothers. Here, ikhwatun is the ismul laysa. This is the ismul laysa, and li is the khabar laysa, like usual mubtada khabar, right? Just that the mubtada is coming late because it is nakira. It does not have alif lam. It is not definite. It is indefinite, and we cannot start a sentence with an indefinite noun. So we have to push it later on. Yeah, we have to push it later. Okay. Next, second point. If inna is added to a sentence like li ikhwatun, then it's the same thing, but the ismu inna will become inna li ikhwatan. So inna's effect will go to the ismu inna, right? Because this is the actual ismu inna. Here ikhwatan is mansub because it is ismu inna, and li is the khabar inna. Here it's not happening anything because the effect will be on the khabar, right? It's opposite of inna, right? But here the ismu inna is here, so it will have its effect later on. This is a point about if the mubtada is coming late, what should we do about it? Okay. Next, Bilal ibn Hamidin, Bilal son of Hamid. So what happened in a construction like this? We'll drop the alif. The alif of ibnu is omitted. We drop it. We say Bilal ibn Hamidin, and the preceding words loses its tanween. Right? The word of before it loses tanween because it's mudaf, right? So this is the rule. Then mani lakhu, it came in lesson. In who is the brother? It is a polite way of asking a stranger, who is this? Right? Who is the brother? This is a polite way of asking who you are. Right? Instead of saying man anta, who are you? We say mani lakh, who is the brother? Right? This is a polite way. Alhamdulillah, we learned in this vocabulary liqa'un, meeting, ana masrurun bi liqa'ik, I am happy to meet you, jayyidun, good, jaybun, pocket, nahrun, river, barqiyatun, telegram, masrifun, bank, maktabul baridi, post office. Okay, so this is what we learned about in lesson number 2, laysa, right? All the forms of laysa, very short lesson, not much big, right? Laysa, and about inna, if it comes, I mean laysa and inna, if the mubtada comes delayed, how do we do it? And then we learned about just the alif is omitted, and then mani lakhu, who is the brother. Okay, inshallah. Right, inshallah. Let's continue with lesson number 3. Right, inshallah. Today we'll do only 5 lessons, as I said. Inshallah. Lesson number 3. We learned about comparative and superlative degrees. Right? Af'alu, ahsanu, right? And all that. Comparative and superlative degrees of the adjective. Adjectives in the comparative degree are on the pattern of af'alu. Right? We have the pattern of Afalu, comparing something or saying someone is the best, superlative. Like ajmalu, more beautiful, ahsanu, better, asgharu, smaller, aqdamu, older. As we already learned, words on these patterns are diptotes. Right? Afalu, we learned in book 1, right? Afalu ahmadu. So they don't have tanween. Afalu pattern. No tanween at all. They are diptotes, ghair munsarif. Afalu is followed by min. Right? If it is comparative, it will have a min. Like for example, Hamidun atwalu min Bilalin. Hamid is taller than Bilal. Hmm? And afalu is the same for masculine, feminine, singular, plural. For everything is the same pattern. Bilalun atwalu min Aminata. Bilal is taller than Amina. Then feminine also. Aminatu atwalu min Bilalin. Amina is taller than Bilal. Al-abna'u atwalu min al-banati. The sons are taller than the daughters. Al-banatu atwalu min al-abnai. Right? Everything, it'll be the same. Afalu, afalu, afalu. And in comparative, we'll have a min. The daughters are taller than the sons. Right? And note the following example where min is followed by a pronoun. So sometimes with min, we can bring a pronoun also. Like, anta ahsanu minni. You're better than me, or you're better than I. Right? Note that in minni, the noon has a shadda. There's no shadda with other pronouns. Minhu, minhuma, minhum, minka, minkuma, minkum. Only with minni, right? And but minna has a shadda because it's made of a min plus na. So minni and minna, they have a tajdeed. It's doubling. Two noons are coming. Min plus ni, minni. Because if you don't do that, it'll become mini, right? But we should not say that. It's minni. Ana akhsaru minka. I am shorter than you. Hum akbaru minna sinnan. They are older than me, right? Older than we. Sinnun means age, right? Sinnun. It also means teeth. Actually, teeth, tooth, one tooth, right? Sin asnan. So age is also the same thing because you count teeth. Teeth maybe when a person is getting old or something. Akbaru sinnan literally means bigger in age, right? But is older in age. So afal is also used for superlative degree. Right? And it becomes mudaf alayhi that time. Like Ibrahimu ahsanu talibin. Right? It'll be singular, the word after it. Fil madrasati. Ibrahim is the best student. Min will not come here. Right? Ibrahim is the best student in the school. Okay. Ibrahim is the best student in the school. Then Al-Azharu aqdamu jamiatin fil alami. Al-Azhar is the oldest university in the world. Right? Aqdamu jamiatin. So it will become like mudaf nafli. So there's no special word, different word for comparative and superlative. We use the same word. We use the same word for both comparative and superlative, but the structure differs. Right? Here it will be with a min, and here it will be like mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. Inshallah. Like Fatima tu akbaru talibatin fi faslina. Fatima is the eldest student in our class. Fatima is the eldest student in the class. And both the Arabic name for both the comparative and the superlative. So here also it's become mudaf. The name for Arabic name is ismut afalu tafdil. Right? It's called afalu. Right? Which afal it is? It's called the afalu tafdili. Right? The afal of tafdil. Okay. Afalu tafdili. It's not fa'alu tafdil. I mean afalu tafdil. Its name is that in Arabic. Then we learned in the second point about lakinna. Lakinna is also a sister of inna, right? But lakinna means walakinna means but is one of the sister of inna, and so acts like inna. So it does the same job like inna. Example: Bilalun mushtahidun. Bilal is hardworking. Walakinna hamidan kaslanu. But Hamid is lazy. Like kaslan. Akhi mutazawwijun walakinni azabun. My brother's married, but I'm a bachelor. Sayyadati khadimatun walakinnaha qawiyatun. Right? So like inna, this will also make it mansub, right? This is all mansub, mansub, mansub. Here pronouns are coming, so we don't see the effect. But here it's mansub. And my car is old, but it is strong. Right? Lakinna. Ka'anna is also a sister of inna. Ka'anna. And so the following it is mansub. It means it looks as if. Like ka'anna al-imama maridun. Right? It looks as if the imam is sick. Right? Ka'anna means as if. Man hadhihi al-fata, who is this girl? Ka'annaha ukhtuka. It looks like she is your sister. Ka'annaha ukhtuka. Inshallah. Ka'anna hadhihi sayyarata lahu. Right? It looks like as if this car belongs to him. Lahu. Kannaka min al-Hind. You seem to be from India. So kanna means as if it looks like you seem to be. And the next thing we learned about numbers from 11 to 20 with a masculine ma'dud, right? With the numbers with the masculine ma'dud. And then next lesson we learned with feminine ma'dud. So 11 and 20. So what happens with 11 and 20? The ma'dud is singular mansub, right? It is tamiz. So like 11 stars, ahada ashara kawkaban, right? Tis'ata ashara kitaban, 19 books. So he says that we will deal with these numbers under 4 heads. How many heads? 4 heads. First, we will deal with number 11 and 12. So number 11 and 12, the genders will be the same. So that's why he's dividing it up. Here, both parts agree with the ma'dud, right? Both parts. So the number itself is divided into 2 parts, the first part and the second part, right? Both are like compound, right? Like ahada ashra, tis'ata ashra. It's all fatah, 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 right? All mabni these are, except 12. All are mabni, always have fatha. Like, and 11 and 12, what happens? It will match the gender. Like 21, 22, like we learned just now. I mean, last lesson. Ahada ashara taliban, 11 male students. Ihda asharata talibatan, 11 female students, right? So both, everything is masculine, 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 masculine. And this is feminine, feminine, feminine. All are feminine. Isna ashara taliban, masculine, right? And this is isnata ashrata talibatan, feminine. Okay, feminine. Everything is like matching. But from numbers 13 to 19, here the second part agrees with the madud. So the first part is opposite in gender, right? And the first part does not. Like for example, salasa asharata talibatan. Right? This is masculine because this is feminine, right? So this is masculine, and these both are feminine. Asharata talibatan. And here it's opposite again. This is feminine and this is masculine. So this is feminine. Talasata. The second part will agree. This is how it is. As you can see, in Salasata Ashra Taliban, the Ma'dud Taliban is masculine. Here it is masculine. And so the second part of the number Ashra is masculine, right? See? Masculine, masculine, masculine. And where the first part, Salasata, is feminine, as indicated by the ta ending. But here, because this is feminine, so it will become opposite in gender. In Salasa Asharata Taliban, the Ma'dud Talibatan is feminine. So Talibatan here is feminine. So the second part of the number Asharata will match, is also feminine, but the first part will not match Salasa, as indicated by the absence of ta. Okay, inshallah. And these numbers are mabni. So next point he says that these numbers are indeclining. They are mabni. They're fixed. In other words, they do not change to indicate the function in the sentence, right? They do not change, right? Like if you start comparing, see, with 3 to 10, if we compare, he says, "Indi salasatu riyalatin." I have 3 riyals. So this has a fatha. 3 to 10 are not mabni. They are like normal munsarif, right? Uridu salasata. This always remains fatha. I mean, this is uridu salasata riyalatin. I want 3 riyalats. This is mansub because of uridu. Hadha al-qalamu bi salasati riyal. So every time we see there's a change in salasa. But for 13 or 11 to 19, except 12, of course, indi salasata ashara riyalan. I have 13 riyals. Uridu salasata ashara riyalan. I want 13 riyals. So it remains the same, right? Hadha al-qalamu bi salasata ashara riyalan. Right? This pen is with 13 riyals. Everything changes except 12. So he says the word isna and isnata and isna ashra and isnata ashra, 12 is mu'arab, right? It is mu'arab. It is not mabni, declinable. Right? It declines normally. Like duals, right? Ani, aini. In genitive and accusative, they become isnai and isnatai, right? So isnani becomes isnaini and isnataini. For female, it becomes isnataini. Like for example, عندي اثنا عشر ريالا. I have 12 riyals. أريد اثني عشر ريالا. اثني. So except 12, all are mabni, but this is mu'arab. هذا الكتاب باثني عشر ريال. So because of ba, it becomes اثنين. Okay. Inshallah. Note that Isna and Isnata commence with Hamzatul Wasl, right? So we have to join the period. It is omitted in pronunciation when preceded by a word. When preceded by a word, we omit it. We do not read it. Okay. Next, the number 20 is Ishruna, the fourth part of this numbers. Ishruna, it is the same form for both masculine and feminine. The Ma'adud is singular mansub, like Ishruna talibatan, Ishruna taliban. It's both singular and mansub. Singular and mansub. We will learn the numbers from 30 to 90 in lesson 23, inshallah. In lesson 23, we'll learn the later numbers and we'll learn there the other cases of these numbers as well. In lesson 23, he'll bring all the numbers. Lesson 23 is a lesson for numbers, inshallah. Next one, ordinal numbers, right? The word for ordinal is what? Like the first, second, third, right? How do we say that? The word for first is awalu. Ordinal numbers for 2 to 10 are formed on this pattern of file. So awal, except awal, from 2 to 10 it becomes like file pattern. Salis, rabi', khamis, sadis. And second is sanin, right? Sanin. It was actually saniyun, because again, like mankus, like ghalin in lesson 1, we learned, right? Ghalin, it becomes sanin, right? Sani. Thani athnaini. Idhuma fil ghar. Right? With al, it is athani. So when alif lam comes back, ya also comes out. Athani, second. This is what we learned in this awalu, except awal, the 2 to 10 is salis, rabia, sanin, and so on. Alaysa kazalik means, isn't it so? Isn't it so? Like if a student is asked, anta talibun alaysa kazalik, are you a student? Is it not so? He will answer bala, because this is a negative question. We will learn more about bala in lesson 6. Right? Negative question, that's how we say bala. Then next point, ayyuhuma, which of the two? Like fil fasli talibani min Fransa. Ayyuhuma akhuka. There's 2 students in the class from France. Right? Which of them is your brother? Ayyuhuma, which of the 2? Then broken plurals, we learned mafail, mafailu. Right? They are called muntahal jumur. Mafail, these 2 plurals are called muntahal jumur. Right? The end of the plurals. Right? Fanadiq and fanadiq, this is the name, muntahal jumur. Munta means end, jumur is plurals. Okay. So alhamdulillah, in this lesson we learnt about af'alu tafdeel, right? All the asgharu, aqdamu and all that, lesson 3. And we also learned lakinna, sister of inna. We learned ka'anna. We learned from numbers like 11 to 20, and he divided into 4 parts, 11 and 12. Like first part, 11, 12, everything matches. In 13 to 19, nothing matches. I mean, the first part doesn't match. The second part does, right? And the numbers are fixed. They're mabni. Always fatah, fatah, fatah. Even though B came or whatever came, it'll always have a kasra. Here also, even if the object is the same, I mean, it's always salasata asha. We'll never read it as salasatu asharu. No. Or salasati ashiri. No. We'll never read it. It'll always salasata ashra. 13 is always salasata ashra, arba'ata ashra. Whatever happens, yeah. They'll never become arba'atu ashra. Why did they do that? Maybe to make it differentiate between that, right? Differentiate between other numbers. Because 22, like we learned yesterday, is arba'atun wa ishruna. Right? We add a wow to differentiate 22, 24, or whatever, right? But for 11 to 19, because we use it so commonly, maybe they made it a compound word. Instead of saying, I was going to say arba'atun wa ashra. They could have done that, right? 4 and 10. They could have done that, but we use it so common till 20 maybe, so they just remove the wow. It's like make it 1 to 1, arba'at ashra, arba ashra, and so on. But the genders, they kept it. Like if the thing is being masculine, you make it feminine, and if the thing is feminine, you make it masculine. The first word, like 3 to 10. So vocabulary: mahjaun, hostel; kawkabun, star; fariqun, team; shafiqun, full brother; fil manami, in a dream, right? Nafidatun, window. Sinnun, age, 2. Shahrun, month. Laibun, player. Wasiun, spacious. Shahidun, famous. Tamanun, prize. Kasla is lazy. So kaslanu, how do you make it feminine? You drop the noon and write this alif as like this. Kasla. Okay. Inshallah ta'ala. Inshallah. Lesson 4 and 5 are small lessons, nothing much here. Inshallah. Or maybe we can do it in the next class, inshallah. Because this is revision is a little boring because you have to keep on reading here, dry revision. But I think inshallah we'll get a good grasp of all the rules. That's why I try to do this. Right? We get all the rules in one place. Right? Because if I revise, alhamdulillah, it's beneficial. Right? Because if I revise, I mean, I don't know how to revise in any other way, right? I cover everything comprehensively. Here, inshallah, all the rules, we cover every from A to Z, we cover everything here, huh? Inshallah. So maybe we can continue from lesson 4 in the next class, inshallah, because even for me, it's like so dry and dull. Right? But inshallah, let's try to finish all the 10 lessons, maybe 3 classes, but it's worth it, I hope, inshallah. Can we do the notes too? Inshallah, we'll do the notes also. Yeah, we can. Yeah, inshallah. We can do the notes also. Once we finish this, maybe we'll do the notes also. Inshallah. Right? It'll be a reference point. Like whenever we want to revise these lessons, we can watch these videos. Or maybe not even watch, maybe just skim through it. Inshallah. Once we finish this, we can do the notes again. So we can do a good revision of these 10 lessons. Okay, Jazakallah khair. Let's continue from lesson 4, inshallah. So let's see. Maybe lesson 4 and 5 are small, but still, we can do more in the next class. Maybe instead of 3, we can do 4 or 5. Then third class, we can finish it up. Okay, inshallah. Because as the book progresses, the notes also, inshallah, the notes also increase. In book 3, one lesson has like so much notes, right? In book 3, one lesson has so many grammatical points. Like if I open book 3, right? It is how many pages? 172. And this is how many pages? 110. Almost 80 pages more. This is book 3. And one lesson has so many rules. Sometimes he brings 30 rules in one lesson. There's so much Arabic is also there in this. So many types of, rules and so many things to cover. Even the lessons are so big, right? Because book 2 itself took us, in the Urdu one, the Urdu batch, it took us 45 classes. The book 3 now, we have completed almost 40 classes, but still we have done only 2/3 of the book, right? It requires almost 60 classes maybe, inshallah, book 3. And still going on and go on and on and on. And we have not done. We're still in 22nd lesson, and still there are 100 pages to go. Inshallah. But still, we have to complete it someday or the other, inshallah. Every Monday class. Okay. Jazakallahu khair. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
كانوا قليلا من الليل ما يهجعون وبالأسحار هم يستغفرون